I'm going to New York City today. Wanna come? There are many ways to get to New York City from Boston. You can drive, take the train, or the bus, or fly. This time I decided to fly to New York. It was 4 hours total, but only 45 minutes in the air. My name is Nina Karapetian. I'm a real estate agent in Boston and the surrounding suburbs. So if you're thinking of relocating to Boston, reach out to me. All my contact information is in the description. This video is not to compare those two cities, but to give you a feel of New York City, because Boston is so close to New York City. If you live in Boston, you're gonna be going to New York City a lot. They told me that New York pizza is better than Boston, so I'm gonna give it a try. Oh. How do you eat this? Yeah, I would say so. The crust, the difference is in the crust. Everything is supersized in New York City. Residents of both New York City and Boston complain about the bad weather, about cold winters and hot and humid summers. But New Yorkers really shouldn't complain. On average, there are 224 sunny days per year in New York and only 200 in Boston, according to bestplaces.net. Boston gets so much more snow. Generally, New York summers are hotter and more humid, but Boston winters are much colder. So it's November and I'm sitting outside in Boston and enjoying a cafe latte. A lot of people ask me on my YouTube channel what clothes they should wear in the winter, what they should bring with them. Uniqlo, Heat Tech underwear, or actually layering, you should be okay. LL Bean coats are great. So Boston people seem to be more introverted compared to New York City people. They're more reserved. New York definitely has this creative buzz and energy and nightlife. New York people are very friendly to give you directions. They would even walk with you to show you where it is. So when they say that New York people are rude, it's not really true. If you like urban jungles, then you will like New York City more. If you like historical buildings, don't want to feel small next to giant skyscrapers, Boston will be better for you. Boston kept many historical buildings. The tallest used to be the churches with their steeples, like the Old State House and the Old North Church. Now most of Boston's skyscrapers are in Financial District and Back Bay neighborhoods. The tallest structure in Boston is the 60-story John Hancock Tower, which rises 790 feet in the Back Bay. Midtown Manhattan and Lower Manhattan are homes to the tallest buildings in New York City and in US. One World Trade Center, built on the site of destroyed Twin Towers, is the highest building in Manhattan. Manhattan is an island, so there is limited space, but a lot of demand, so vertical expansion is the only option. Some people say that Boston is much cleaner. That's in part because all the businesses in New York City put their trash in bags on sidewalks to be picked up in the morning, and the evening walks are navigating around those trash piles. Things that you rarely see in Boston that are very common in Manhattan are 24-hour diners, $1 pizza places, grocery stores that sell produce and prepared foods on every corner, and all kinds of food trucks everywhere. You will definitely not go hungry in New York City, day or night. You can find any type of activity and any type of cuisine in great abundance in New York City. World-class opera, museums, theater, Broadway musicals, a huge selection of rooftop bars, restaurants, and nightlife in New York City is simply unmatched. Public transportation in New York City is extensive. Boston's transportation doesn't cover many areas and doesn't work late at night. New York's transit is so developed because there is no space for that many cars on New York streets. It's already congested at every hour, and there is no way the city can function without majority using public transportation. Boston Transit is considered the third best in the US after San Francisco and New York City. Driving in your city is a skill. You don't only have other cars to worry about, but bikes and crowds of pedestrians. A New Yorker told me that usually it's faster to walk than take a car. New York is made of 5 boroughs, and I've been focusing so far on comparing mid-Manhattan with center of Boston. But there are many more areas to both cities that have completely different feel, traffic, or cost of living. Boston is much smaller than New York and feels like a small town compared to New York City, but Boston's smallness is part of its charm. New York City is the most densely populated major city in the United States. Recently, after the pandemic, many large cities saw a significant population loss. USPS data shows more than 333,000 New Yorkers have left city since beginning of COVID. I personally helped many living in Boston condos to move to single-family houses in the suburbs. In the past 10 years, Boston has become more and more expensive, and recently the Boston Herald wrote that Boston could soon surpass San Francisco as the second most expensive city behind New York City. So it seems that we now have a new type of rivalry with Big Apple, sky-high housing costs. But how high is the Boston cost of living compared to New York City? When it comes to real estate prices, Boston homes are still slightly less expensive than New York City. According to MLS data, Boston's median sale price for all residential property types is $805,500. That is 6.88% lower than New York City's median sale price of $865,000. The current average rent price in New York City is $3,650, which is $1,000 more expensive than the monthly average rent for Boston apartments. These are averages for the whole city, including the less expensive areas. You live where you can afford. The closer you are to the subway station or any public transportation, the more rent you pay. High rents and home prices can be manageable if household incomes are high enough. According to the most recent income data, the median household income in Boston is over $10,000 higher compared to New York City. Boston's average rent-income ratio is at 33.79% compared to an astronomical 52.67% in New York City. Boston still has a way to go before it starts seeing New York City prices, and I really hope it never happens. According to bestplaces.net, overall, New York City is 9.9% more expensive than Boston. Next week, I'm joined by incredible New York City agent Brandon Bogard, and we'll show you $6 million penthouses in New York City and Boston. Subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified when the video comes up.
Square foot in this neighborhood for a condo, it ranges from 2,200 to 2,600.
What?
Yeah, so this square foot where we're in, you and me right here,
Okay.
This is $2,400.
All this for only $6 million.
There you go, that's what you want to say.